All right, so I'm actually back real early with some content. I took a little bit of thinking, took a little bit of, but I got some content, and what I wanted to talk about was again Miami and New York. I want to talk about Dubai, but it's difficult to talk about a place that you've been to recently, and it's just so much easier to talk about places that you were in or you've been around, years and years ago, like many years ago. It's easy to talk about stuff like that because you've left those places and you're not there anymore. But you reflect on it, and you have so much time that's gone by at the same time. Kind of helps you reflect on it better. So I wanted to start with Miami. But before I do, there was something I really thought about. And you know what? My whole life, I really thought that, and it wasn't just me, like anyone I came into contact with thought that I had the capability to like really make it big. I heard people tell me that I had the talent to go far in like several different industries. I had people tell me that, dude, you're so good looking and smart, man. Why don't you just become an actor? And I'm talking about when I was young, like 18 years old, 19 years old. People would be telling me, man, why don't you become an actor, man? People would tell, you know what I mean? And I remember I went for that Woodbridge Carpenters Union course. And the first thing the guy wanted to talk to me, the instructor, like second or third day, after everybody left, and he's like, man, why don't you just become an actor or something? I mean, you're good looking, you're in shape. At that time I was in very good shape because I've been doing stuff. So he's like, why don't you just become an actor, man? Why the fuck do you want to do all this work and stuff? I was like, dude, you're not gonna change my mind on this. But the thing was, people were always telling me, and I always thought I was gonna be successful. People always, no matter what I did, people thought I'd be successful. Dude, you're so smart, man. You can go to university, get a degree, and you can work your way to an awesome job. No matter what the person's like vision was, or no matter where they were in life, everybody always came at me with, you can be successful. And the funny thing is that I like doing things that people didn't think I could be successful in. So being very young and being very, I would say growing up, the way I wasn't really exactly a hood kid or anything like that, out in the hood and doing things. That wasn't the type of guy I was. My activity outside of a part-time job was going to the YMCA. That's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed swimming. I enjoyed, exercising. I enjoyed, playing sports every now and then, and that was my idea of fun. So we're watching movies at home, we're playing video games. Well, I stopped playing video games when I got older. This is like watching movies and stuff. So that's a kind of person I was. But the point is that no matter what it was, no matter what kind of person I met, they always thought that I could be successful. They might not have thought that I could be like the best MMA guy, but people would look at me like, why the hell would you even want to do MMA? I've never done MMA, by the way, but somebody might look, why the hell would you even want to do MMA? First of all, I don't think you'd be any good at it, right? Because you're not a fighter. Number one, you're not a fighter, and I doubt you'd ever be able to do that. Number two, you can easily live a way better life. Like, you have all the, I've heard this a million times, you have all the personality, you have all the brains, you're good look, you have everything going for you. Why the fuck would you want to do shit that nobody wants to do? And that's what I thought was cool. Like, I always thought about, man, it'd be cool to just, do a few boxing matches or something as an amateur. You know what I mean? And the fact that everybody thought that I was weak in that area made me want to prove people wrong and show them that I could do it too. And the crazy thing is, even if I tried, I would get no help in it. If there was a boxing coach, he just not on me at all, not watch me, not tell me what to do. Was kind of me on my own trying to find. It would be like me on my own trying to find people to spar with and things like that, because he was putting in no work for me. He wasn't even, and he was very good, by the way. He was a very good coach, very talented, strength and conditioning and all that shit. And the guy didn't believe in me one bit. And it was almost like he wanted to take me in for me to lose, and then for me to be his number two. Like, he was literally, he called me once to Luxie's, which was a club in Vaughan. He was a promoter over there. And he called me there Well, me and another guy, another couple of guys, we went to that club and he got us in and everything for free and all that shit. And he got us drink tickets to buy drinks and things like that. But because he was a promoter. But like he had. He was talking to me one day. Hey, dude, look at these pictures. He just got back from Dominican or Puerto Rico. I think it was Dominican. He got back from or Mexico. He went with like 11 ladies. Okay, 11 ladies and him to Dominican or whatever to drink and party and go out and everything. And he would be telling me about it. He goes when he comes back. He goes, dude, you know what, people? I was like, dude, you went there to a resort place, to a party place with 11 ladies. And he was showing me all the videos and pictures, and he goes, dude, people were calling me Mr. Hollywood. They'd be like, hey, this guy doesn't have to wait in line. This guy's Mr. Hollywood, come right in, kind of thing. And he was telling me that. And I saw him at Lux Season. I knew that a lot of people thought he was cool. He was cool with all the staff and like the bartender and all the guys all around, the security, everybody. And I understood that. But when he was showing me that, and he goes, listen, man, I think you could be like me, do some amateur boxing. You know what I mean? Don't go into the pros, but do some amateur boxing. I think you could win a national title. And I mean, that's the least that you could do. Like, I didn't think you had talent, but the least you could do is win a national title, because there was a girl in his family, a young girl who had a crush on me, and I didn't like her. You know what I mean? She had a crush on me, but I didn't like her because she was too young for me. I was like 17 and she was under 16. Like, she was 14 or 15 while I was 17. And for me, that was too young. And it sounds ridiculous. Why is that too young? But when I went to high school, it was like, when I'm in 10th grade, the lowest I can like is a 9th grader. When I'm in 11th grade, the lowest I can like is a 10th grader. When I'm in 12th grade, the lowest that I'm going to like is an 11th grader. And that was always in my mind that, I want to stay in my age because I'm at that maturity level. And I don't want to go higher than that. I don't want to go lower than that. I want to be at my level of maturity so I can be with, be interested in somebody and then be interested. Anyway, she had a crush on me and be telling me all the time. And she'd be always trying to talk to me. I didn't want to talk to her really. And it's not disrespectful. She was way too young for me. So, he was, I know he wanted me to go there and get my ass beat. And after I get my ass beat, he wanted to act like he was paying attention to me and he wanted to help me and all that stuff. But, he wanted me to lose and kind of just be under him, you know what I mean? And then probably just date her or something like that, which I did not want to do at all. So anyways, yeah, so he literally started going like this. When I went to Luxie's that night, I was telling him the next day, I'm like, dude, I met this smoking hot girl over there. And, but I fucked it. Like, she wanted to dance with me, but I didn't know how to dance. And he starts going like this. Cause he's like, fuck. And he's trying to hook me up with the dog. He's like, oh, fuck, this is fucked up. So I was like, anyways, that doesn't matter. But he was trying to turn me into his number two. Hey, do some amateur. Oh, you win a national title at the very least. You can, what else they tell me? Like, you can do club promoting kind of thing. Dude, you can go on parties like me. Dude, you don't have to date somebody. You can just be friends with a girl. Like, you can tell me, you can just be friends with a girl and fuck around with her. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be all that serious. And you can meet other girls and all that kind of, he's talking to me and he's trying to, at that point, because he was impressed with me, he was trying to turn me into his number two. And because I was young at the time and he was older, that would be something really good for him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that was something on his mind, but it didn't work out. I ended up moving into an apartment, and when I was 19 years old, I moved into an apartment, and I didn't want to go see him there because there was a gym, a 24-hour gym within like 10 minutes walk, 5 minutes walking distance. I used to ride my bicycle there in like 2 minutes, and it was 24 hours, and they were priced way better. So I was like, screw it. So that's when I basically disconnected from the guy. Me and him never had any connection after that again. I don't think he really even liked me very much. I don't think I liked him very much, to be very honest. So I didn't meet up with him again. But I'm trying to, the point is I'm trying to tell you, like, a lot of people, everybody thought I could do this, I could do that, and whatnot. And, now that, it'll make sense when I get into the next part. And the next part is like, making it into Miami, no, sorry. So this is the important thing that I gotta tell you. Everybody will tell you, oh, you're capable of this, capable of that. And I was always fucking up. I was never, like, I would always break. I wouldn't break in how you think, but I would break in the way where I'd be like, man, I can't do this, man. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I got to move on to something else or something because I can't do this. I was always breaking, no matter how strong my mentality was and no matter how much I wanted to. I was always breaking. I was always in an endless cycle of breaking. You know, and that's the first time in my life that I've come out of that. That's why I feel so good. You know what I mean? Because I didn't break on this when I kept going. And you know, and you can break just from lack of enthusiasm. Anything can make you break. But yeah, I was always breaking. And but the point is that, you know, I'm glad that I was breaking. I didn't understand how good it was because, you know, for me to be at a basic level, to actually achieve would mean that somebody would have gifted it to me, which meant that I would have had to take a gift from someone, which meant that they would have influence on my life and telling me what to do, which means that they would, which means that I wouldn't be able to live the way I wanted to live, and I would be pleasing others to live their way. You see what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that I never became successful enough, just always showing wit and talent, but never becoming successful enough at that basic level. And so glad that I'm out of that basic level today and that I'm at a much better level and I'm flying as well and everything. And I mean, everything makes more sense now. All this time that I did, you know, I found out so much about myself. You know, for literally from the last time I was in jail in 2016, the last time I was in jail in 2016, I mean, I learned so much about myself. There were, you know, I was hearing words about, you know, like, come on, dude, like, you don't know that you're half, you know, they would say things like that to me. They thought I was something else too. People thought that, you know, all this shit about me, that I was part Italian and part Middle Eastern or something, which is not true at all. I'm not part Italian and part Middle Eastern, you know, but people were like, that's when I found out my last time in jail that, you know, my first time in jail, they were just kind of throwing out there that I might be half and half of, I might be mixed race. But at that time, my last time, it was like, do you know that you're half Italian and half Middle Eastern? And that was not the case at all. I'm not half Italian and half Middle Eastern. It took me time to find out the truth. I had to do a lot of research on my own. I had to talk to a lot of people. I had to find out a lot of stuff, and I had to advance my maturity. But in these years, I found out who I was. I found out what my history was like. I got a fresh perspective. I realized what the truth was, what the falsity was. I found out things that I never knew about that everybody out there knew about, like even kids knew about, and I didn't know it because I never had an adult guiding me, and I was never genuinely an adult. So I found out a lot about myself, and that information and knowledge was very useful in moving forward. And, you know, and then breaking through that barrier where I was no longer stuck in a cycle of never changing and never growing, and never having a presence, to having that. And I knew I would come through 6 months later, 6.5 months later, I knew I'd come through. I'm so much better and so much stronger at everything. And I knew that all that time, I knew that from that day, that very moment, you know, when I felt it, I knew that things were going to move, and I knew I was going to advance, and I knew that I was going to get better. And I'm so glad all that happened, because I'm at the point that I should have, that I feel like I should have always been at, but it doesn't matter because I started from level 1 and I found my way here. So that was a big deal that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how, you know, I'm glad that at a basic level I never became too successful or rich, because it would have been bullshit and I would have been just under somebody. And it always can't, anyone will always try to put me under them. You know, I've had very intelligent people try to put me under them, and things start getting out of control, and you know, there's other shit going on. They're like, you know, I gotta leave. You know what I mean? And I've had that done a lot. I had that done even recently in the last couple of years. I told you I had somebody in Calgary who was trying to teach me some stuff and use me at the same time, but you know, it didn't really work out. So, you know, when I was left on my own, I actually, you know, I flourished. You know, it's like when you're thrown into deep waters, I started swimming. Now, is there really more, because I'm running out of time, is there anything more? I wanted to talk about Miami and New York. I can do it on the next video, but it's not important, because what I talked about there was basically what everything was going to be about, what I would be talking about when I'd be talking about those Miami and New York vibes. it'd be a lot of that, this gem that people see, but they're trying to hide. They don't know. He doesn't break out. He doesn't become successful. He's in the same place. Nobody's changing him. He's not changing himself. Blah blah blah. And then as it goes through the years of the Miami New York vibe. So that'll be it, and there'll be no part 2 of this.